No wonder, from the east, the Igbos, to the Hausas, to the Yorubas, people are always wanting to know how to make the efik Pancuko. Hi there, my name is Iquo Ukoh. I live and work in Lagos, Nigeria. Now, Nigeria is in the western part of Africa. And if you look at the map of Africa, Nigeria is actually at the trigger point of Africa. And Nigeria is popularly referred to as the giant of Africa. In terms of my work and visit, I have had the privilege of visiting Nigeria from the north to the south, from the east to the west. And so I can safely say that I have experienced Nigerian food in terms of the variety, in terms of the different cultures, as far as food is concerned. In Nigeria, we have simple categorization of our different dishes. We have the soups, we have stews, and we have sauces. We also have pottages, or what Nigerians would rather say, refer to as porridge. And then you have this other one, a lot of Nigerians categorize as swallows. And swallows basically are like, a mash. Either you're using cereals or tubers for that. The dish I'll be sharing today is called Pancuko, and it is indigenous to the Efiks and the Ibibios of the south part of Nigeria. Of course, Pancuko has found its way into restaurants in Lagos, Enugu, Aba, and other parts of Nigeria. Is to section the leaves like that. Just get it off. Not too big, not too small, enough for you to put little paste on top of the leaves and wrap. As I said earlier, Pancuko is actually a labor of love. We start the wrapping process first by adding some oil to the base of the pot. This is to prevent the cocoyam wraps from sticking. So you swirl this a bit to get the oil well lined at the base. Next, we add the periwinkle, which has been topped, tailed, and washed. And I'll show you how you suck this out. Like I said, this is part of the fun of eating Pancuko. So you put that at the base of the pot. And it also provides elevation for the wraps so that it also does not stick. We season that with salt and pepper. And dry pepper. I'm going to be using fresh Scotch bonnet later, but this is the dry pepper. We'll also add a little seasoning stock cube, which has been crushed. Stock cube is actually quite commonly used in Nigerian dishes. And so that's it. We now start the wrapping process proper. Remember, I had mixed the cocoa yam and the water yam. So you place that and wrap into little parcels like that, with some bits peeping here and peeping at the base to help the cooking process. Growing up, I know that Pancuko is just something that you would find the aunties, the older women coming together and doing the wrapping, because usually they're not wrapping little pots like this, by the way. It's a big pot of Pancuko which is being cooked for the family. So you need as many hands as possible to do the wrapping. So you find the aunties coming round, and I remember then eavesdropping, my aunties talking about who's married to who, whose child is about to get married, who has just divorced, and all manners of stories. As we say in Nigeria, all manners of gist going on when Pancuko is being wrapped. And so you take it little by little so that it cooks through. You can't put too much for each wrap. With Nigerian dishes, it is actually a lot of complex flavors. I mean, if you look at the goat meat with its flavor, fish, smoked fish, cow skin with its flavor, the shrimp, the crab, and then finally you're going to add crayfish. It's a lot going on in one pot of a pottage. But that's the beauty about Nigerian meals. So we layer with some onion, and we layer with some cow skin and some smoked fish and some crab and some prawn. And then continue to wrap, so that the flavor of this is trapped in between, and so everything is well seasoned at the end of the day. Now, Nigerians have started experiencing, and it's something I'm actually excited about, where I'm finding that somebody from the north of Nigeria is very interested in trying out dishes from the south. And so I can go to Kano, which is in the north of Nigeria, and I can fairly well guarantee that I'll find edikaikong soup, which is originally from the south of Nigeria, in a restaurant in Kano. And same goes for Lagos. I can also find a lot of Eastern dishes in Lagos. I do see that also, that intertribal marriages is helping to break barriers. My food blog, for instance, I find that a lot of southern ladies who are married to northern men are interested in cooking northern dishes, and so they come to the blog and learn how to cook those northern dishes. I am particularly interested, in ensuring that even if I'm not from the north, I can always try out masa, which is a fermented rice-based dish. And so, I expect my friend Amina from the north to also try Pancuko as well. So that way we just start to build some unity in the country, and more importantly, put more variety on our tables. So that will be it. And then the last layer of the proteins again. And then we just add the claws for flavor. Add the claws for flavor. Add the last bit. And so we get cooking now. So we have water boiling, which will be used for the Pancuko. So in the meantime, I get this to heat up on low heat. The cooking is done particularly on low heat because cocoyam takes a bit of time to cook and you want it to cook through. So we're going to add the water now. The thing with Pancuko is that you go on the edges, and this is so that the cocoyam does not dissolve completely into water. So you go gently and you add the hot water on the edge of the pot, but not too much. This is the first stage of addition of water for it to just steam up a bit. Remember, you're cooking on low heat so that the cocoyam takes time to cook through, and subsequently we add more water until the cocoyam is completely cooked. Now, I talked about soups and stews. For the Nigerian typical soup, I always say is water-based in the sense that you start with your meat and your fish, and then you pile on your vegetables, thickeners, and then palm oil and the rest. With that, you combine it with what is called swallow, or it could be combined with rice, or boiled yam, or boiled plantain, or boiled cassava. Now, stew on the other side is pretty much standard. Sometimes it's actually fried and sometimes it's boiled. But the major components of stews are tomato, pepper of different variety, onion, some oil in it, and then you add your protein sauce. Look, for most Nigerians, if you check our fridges or freezers, because a lot of us do bulk cooking, you would always find a bowl of stew there. Now, I talked about sauces on the other hand. There are different definitions of sauces for us in Nigeria. But I think sauce is just a term that we have just borrowed from the European sauce, which is, something that has a tinge of, let me say, English. Is not typically an African dish, because really in the African setting, we don't have what we call sauces like that. I mean, you could have something like we call garden egg sauce, which is not actually sauce, but a stew. So the definition of sauce in Nigeria is open to further discussion. We have our pottages. Some people say porridge, always another debate in Nigeria. So what I'm cooking is a typical pottage. You then go on to the other ones I talked about, which is the swallows. Swallows are typically, could be cereal or could be tuber based. And usually these are pounded or stirred in a pot in hot water, and you have a mold which you then dip into the soup or stew, and that's the meal. Snacks, a lot of snacks in between, a lot of snacks, a lot of street foods going on now. And I found out that increasingly we're having people eat out more, a lot of them on the streets or in outside restaurants. But yes, street food and out of home eating is actually increasing. So the water has gone down and I will add, I said I love chili, so I'm going to add a little bit more. I'll add some salt as well, just to balance what I had at the base of the pot. Some seasoning cube, crushed. And then I will add shrimp head stock. When I dress the shrimp, I ground the head and sieve the water, and that's what I'm using. It all adds to the flavor, in which case I don't need to add more regular water for now. When this goes down, I then add regular water. So we'll be adding the goat meat at this point, and that's because I had previously cooked this. So we just put that on top. As you can see, the pottage is steaming through, and so the cocoyam is cooking as we go. So I add the stock and also add crayfish at this point. And that's it. You know, just shake the pot a bit. It's already loosening from the edges. This would cook again for another 10 to 15 minutes. So we are almost at the end. And usually, you know, I stir from the sides so I don't break up the wraps. Stir from the side. And at this point, I can actually take out some of the obstructions, the claws of the prawn, which would have done most of its job of adding flavor, but we'll also crack some of this later. And I can actually take out the goat meat as well. It's cooked, but this is just to allow me space to stir the pottage. I can take some of it out and I'll return it when I'm done. I'll still take out some of this. Okay. So now I add the oil, the palm oil. Remember I added some at the beginning, but this is just to finish off. That will be it. And allow this to cook. As you can see, the wraps are still there. It's not all crumbled, but at the same time you have a pottage. The sauce thickens. I'll taste for salt. It's good. I don't need any more salt. I mean, like we say with Nigerian cooking or African cooking generally, you add your seasoning and spices until your ancestors tell you to stop. I think I've had good enough space to stir, so I can actually return the goat meat. Put the goat meat back. I just needed some space to stir the pottage. You put the goat meat back so it absorbs the last bit of flavors. And then I finish off with the saint leaf. And this is actually to add, you know, a flavor dimension to the dish. I'll just leave that to cook for just 2 minutes and Pancuko is ready. So we'll stir for the last time and then turn off the heat. We have so many obstructions in this dish, so many obstructions. By the way, obstructions in the Nigerian term are the fish and the meat. And so what this is basically saying that is obstructing the stirring of the dish. It's a street language actually. So our Pancuko is ready. And as you can see, the colors in the pot are as varied and vibrant as the people. Nigerians are passionate people. We love our food, we love to experiment, and I'm hoping that with the kind of thing I'm doing with food, we get to try each other's food. I mean, from north to south, east to west, we get to experience and experiment with other ingredients outside of our own locality. And that is already happening, and I believe it would continue to happen even more as the food space, you know, explodes and people get to see the variety and opportunities we have in Nigeria. So let me dish and I tuck into Pancuko. And so, I mean, this is a dish you're going with the cutlery and you're going with the hand at the same time. This is the periwinkle. I take out all the goodness from the outer shell and I suck from the front here. empty shell, meat in my mouth, the little cap on the front of the periwinkle there, the side of the plate, and I continue. And you know, when I'm done with that, I go on to use my hands for the prawn, I go on to use my hand for the crab. It's always an exciting experience eating a Pancuko. I mean, beyond the nutritional benefits of this dish. So, no wonder from the east, the Igbos, to the Hausas, to the Yorubas, people are always wanting to know how to make the epic Pancuko. By the way, the Jebus of Southwest have something similar, but theirs is not wrapped in leaves like this, and they call it Ikokore. Pancuko, my all-time favorite.